Well, welcome everybody. This is Tuesday, the 8th of March, 2022, and um, we're going out with joy. And who knows, we might be led forth with peace as well, but we're just going to enter into um, the preciousness of joy. And I've spent a long time um, considering joy, talking to Father about joy, experiencing joy. Partly because for a while I didn't experience joy, and it was kind of like it's my middle name. It's part of me. How do I experience it? Um, so joy is a precious thing. It's the for the joy set before him, Jesus endured the cross, and so I've got to thinking that it was the highest trading point, the highest commodity, the highest, most precious thing that Jesus held on to through the hard times. And so I started to learn about joy. And so I'm so glad that we've got this opportunity to learn and to grow in joy. So as we step in together, joining our spirits, our souls, our bodies, our houses into one house, you're just so welcome, each one of you here, and each part and portion and organ of your bodies, and um, your minds, your wills, your emotions, your love gates. And I just want to, what I'm seeing is us being enveloped with love and joy. So a joyful love and a loving joy. So as we step in, if you do see or sense or taste or hear or perceive something, sometimes we don't actually see something until our spirits sort of tell us what we're seeing, and then we can see it in our imaginations and in our visions. So if you perceive something, then please share that too, because we're bringing into reality what Father's showing us.
Just so many things going on in my heart, but I just was wanting to share this, that I was seeing love, joy, and peace together, and I was recognizing they're not only beings, and they're not only expressed by angels of joy and love and peace, but they're also cities. The city of joy. And what I was getting earlier was that, it says that it's a joy, Paul describing it, joy unspeakable. Was it Peter? I think it was Peter. Joy unspeakable and full of glory. And I saw, okay, that's interesting that joy is actually full of glory. And so I was just meditating on the strength and the might and the power of joy and everything joy is.
Yes, because when you think we get the oil of joy for mourning, when people are mourning, it's the deepest grief or pain that emotionally and physically sometimes when you miss someone that you can go through. And so to have the beauty of joy breaking through that whole experience. And I know when I've experienced joy sort of tangibly, it kind of lightens you, doesn't it? It lightens your spirit. It takes off that spirit of heaviness. And so joy is a powerful, powerful weapon.
So let's entangle with joy and then just join into the flow of the frequency that joy carries, and see and have a look and see the city of joy. It was everlasting joy is described as being upon our heads. It's like a crown. And so let's taste and experience and share those things. I just saw the frequency of joy is in everything that Yahweh created and spoke into existence. And so this is also what I was seeing, was that the release when we get happy, that it releases endorphins, which into the very physical body, the very fiber of our being, right? That Yahweh created. And so that is part of the atomic structure, the nanoparticles of our very being is joy. And there's a flow that I'm seeing, that the endorphins actually strengthen and enhance and rejuvenate the cells of our being. So I would say that this is part of what, when you go in, well, the city of joy is like a place where there's this law of endorphins and so much to healing and well-being within the city of joy.
Yes, what I keep saying is it's a bit like if you saw smoke and you can see the way the wind blows when you see smoke. And I'm seeing these colours swirling like smoke around us, and just changing the atmosphere and changing the fragrance of the atmosphere as it swirls around us. And just like if you walk into a place where there's smoke, you can smell it from a long way off. It's really changing the air around us. And if you've ever been in a place where there's smoke, you carry that smoke when you go somewhere else, when you've left the smoke behind. So it's like a fragrance that clings to you so that others can't help but be affected by it. So I'm just seeing it like smoke, like a beautiful fire, like a fragrant fire.
What I saw when we first started was I saw us in a circle, and I had a tambourine, and we were all dancing, and it was wonderful. There was so much joy, and the joy kept getting bigger and stronger, and we were just like kind of losing it. It was like we were so full of joy. We are so full of joy. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of us, I saw this white light, kind of like a white wind. I don't know how to explain it. First, I thought, is that a person in there? Maybe I'm not seeing the shape of a person, but I kind of did and kind of didn't. And then as we kept, and then I just held on to all this. And then just now, because it was spinning in the middle like a wind. It was so beautiful, like it was dancing in the middle. It was dancing in the middle. That's what it was doing. That's what joy was doing. And so, hallelujah. And then when this lady just spoke, I saw that white dancing joy. It turned into all kinds of colors, and it was like going like in a diagram, like a spirograph picture. I don't know, just like into all kinds of dimensions, just everywhere. We're right there in the middle, and all this, we're seeing all these beautiful colors all around us. And hallelujah. Anyway, that's what I saw. And then also, there's so many things. And then I also saw before then that joy is also a fruit of the Spirit. And I just felt like I had to eat joy. And so I just munched on joy. Thank you.
I love that feasting on joy, Cindy. I just wanted to also honor joy and just say, thank you, Papa. We love joy. We embrace joy. We entangle with joy. We feast on joy. We're so blessed by joy, really blessed. I also saw us dancing with joy, like you said, Cindy, just dancing around, and it was beautiful.
I also felt the power when we were dancing, because we were dancing and then the exhortation started to follow, and I could hear like the shofars, like the power of the dance and the power in the joy and the power that we were all engaged in, that we were all creating. And all those colors were just going everywhere, all over. They're all around us. We're ah, ah, ha. It's all around us. So powerful. So many dimensions. Everywhere. Power. They kind of look like lightning. Ha.
I'm just getting that there's joy in every being, that, that Father created. And so that's part of restoring creation to manifest joy. I also saw that, as you mentioned earlier, Zoe, that I went back to what you said about Jesus for the joy that was set before him. And I just saw, what he did was he partnered with joy and embraced joy into his situation. So there's something about partnering with joy, and there's something about restoring the joy. That be part of our functioning. I also sense that when he partnered with joy, that joy obviously strengthened him mightily, but also it was the frequency of heaven to be above the heaviness of the circumstances that were around him, so that he, yeah.
I may be totally off, but it's so strong now for a few days that I'm seeing blue and gold, and also in a misty kind of cloudiness, but very strongly blue and gold. So when we started off, I sense horses and gates opening, like Yeshua is on a horse and he is riding victoriously forth in joy. And there is like a prophetic action or expectation, because there is joy, and the joy is strengthening. So like something needs to be not executed, I don't know what the exact word is, but has to be finished or done, that will bring forth joy. Yeah, that's I think just the beginning of something, but there's definitely the more joy, the more strength, the more um, the words, I can't find the word, but anyway, yeah, so far, that's what I sense.
Thank you. Let's embrace the blue and the gold atmospheres. I loved what you said about riding, when you said that Jesus was riding in joy. Okay, it really resonated with me that that's a flow for us, to ride in joy, to move in joy, to live in joy, to walk in joy. This is good. And I understood what you said, Anne-Marie. I think you were speaking about legislating joy. So we'll see how we get led on that. Let's just continue to share our encountering joy.
I wanted to add that when she talked about the horse, I saw myself on a horse, and I saw that in my hand, on my right hand, I had this big old lightning rod, like lightning. It was white, like zigzag. It was lightning. And we all were on horses, and we all had these lightning rods in our hands. I'm like, Lord, where do you want us to throw them? Ha.
I keep hearing this song that is really quite nothing to do with what I've been thinking about at all. And it's that song, I've Got You Under My Skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me. And I don't even know all the words, but I know the kind of the song. It's a sort of dance rhythm to the song. But it's as if this joy is getting not only under the skin, but into the heart of every matter. I was just thinking about the Ukraine, where they need the true joy. And I was hearing a couple of people talking about their experiences, and they said that they'd gone from worrying about the state of their house or their job or whatever, to their deepest joy was being reunited with a family member, or hearing that a family member was safe or had got over the border. And so joy changed in their thinking. The true joy, they were experiencing true joy, which was different to what they thought was joy. And then, as somebody mentioned, the gold and the blue, and that we've got something to legislate, I just started to think that there's a nation that is needing true joy. And they can be very religious people, but they're very much have got God in their hearts. And so I just wonder if there's a strategy or a mandate that we have to do something to bring this joy to surround a place where in the natural there isn't much joy.
So I was seeing the different things that each one has said, and looking to see how it flows together. And so I was seeing the city of joy, and I was seeing the door, the entrance, and it said everlasting joy. And then I saw us go into the city, and when we were in the city, and feeling the colors and the swirlings around that we described and dancing around with joy, what then came to my mind was everlasting joy is upon our heads. So we are crowned in this city. And I don't know if you can see yourself crowned with everlasting joy. And, just take up the crown and see that crown on your head of everlasting joy. And then we actually become joy. We are everlasting joy. And then we're on these horses, the white horse with the lightning rods, and the lightning rods are the releasing of the joy. And we're going to see where we're going to release that joy.
What also came to me now was Psalm 45, the bride clothed in gold of Ophir, and then Yeshua riding forth victoriously. And the gold is it's purity and fire, and blue is the word, or it can be meaning the word. So where we ride forth the purity with saturated with the word, to through that foundation bring forth joy. Yeah, that I just, for me, there's a connection between Yeshua and the bride in gold and the word. And yeah, then do legislate or do what we need to do for the joy set before us. But when you said the joy, we have to go spread joy, that resonates very much with my spirit. So it's maybe something to do with that joy needs to be, we have to shower joy wherever we have to, I have a mandate to go and do it.
Anne Marie is clarifying some of what I've been getting. I was thinking of certain scriptures, but I was also thinking of how like purification kept coming to me when I was thinking of gold. And I kept getting this like phrase in my head that joy is a great purifier. And of course, a conductor of energy. And I was thinking of like gold, but then I was also thinking of the spirit of might, and that the joy of the Lord is our strength. And so again, it's an energizer, it's a strengthener. And then I was thinking, what was really interesting, it was like a riddle to me when I was thinking of that scripture that says, count it all joy when you go through various trials for the testing of your faith, et cetera, et cetera. I was thinking, well, there's something about, oftentimes myself, and I think many others think of the trial being the purifier, which it can be. But the riddle I was getting was kind of like joy is a great purifier. And so many times the mindsets have been the trial is the purifier and overcoming it. But that if we like Yeshua, the joy set before us, we're enduring certain things or going through certain things. Joy is in us. We are joy, but joy is a constant companion. And I know that's not really to do with the city, but I feel like there's something to that.
Well, maybe just to confirm that the city, I believe, is us. We are the city of joy.
So I
Yeah,
guess what I'm saying is it's not the long route. We are joy. We're one with joy. There's so much more.
And we're just coming to identify with the truth about this, right? So if you can, I mean, do you see yourself in that city with the, crowned with the crown of joy, everlasting joy? And I don't know, are we seeing that we are a city and our body is made up of joy?
I do. And Michelle, you might laugh, but I'm getting this sensation of liquid gold inside of me and around me.
What I was getting as well is that God was reminding me that I think since I was 20, God just banged me with a bunch of wine, and I'd be drunk on the floor for a long time, and just throughout my life, just lots of joy and lots of times of that it was long. It seemed like I was in that state every time for a long, long time. And God is showing me now that we are storehouses. We're storehouses of joy. And that joy that we carry, it's stored, so when I feel like, so we can use it, God will use it, we can use it, it's stored in us, that's why there's periods where you're just getting barrels and barrels of it. And there are seasons when it's not the barrels, but you still got the joy, because I've always been that way. God has given me that. But anyway, that's what I was getting. It's a bunch of barrels of joy.
Yeah, that resonates with me as well. The body is really missing joy. It's something that that can make a huge difference, and it's our strength as well. So His joy is our strength, and we are that city. So yeah, that definitely resonates. That in whatever the purity or purifying process will also bring forth the joy that will be our strength, and that we will need that because He is joy, and we need to bring to be the incarnation of the Word.
I was also seeing the connection with the bubbles, because I'm seeing joy as like an effervescence, like it bubbles up within you. So just like we had the bubbles last time, it's like bubbles were so on the outside when we were entering into them, when entering into atmospheres. Now I'm seeing this effervescence of joy that is within us, that bubbles up to the surface from deep within.
When you were saying that, I was seeing, yeah, it's a lot of positive frequencies, like a lot of wonderful frequencies and joy. But I also saw in those bubbles of that bubbling of joy that it's some of the bubbles, I saw the words written in promises and truth, and like even the word, like meaning just even Rhema words from God, promises and truth and so on.
It's funny, Michelle, because when you're talking about the bubbles, I did see bubbles, like real, bubbles that you blow. But, when you were saying they rise up in our belly, and all that. And then I was just like, burp, burp, burp. Burp, burp, burp. Well, we're drunk. Yeah.
Exactly it.
We
That's what
drank
I
a
was
lot.
Carry on, Zoe. I missed what you was trying to say.
I was just exactly the same thing. I was seeing a whole load of children and how, if they drink fizzy drinks, they sometimes get so much gas that they burp, and then they find it so funny. And it's kind of like, well, that's what it's all about. It's almost like not a hard thing to do. It's just you've got to drink the bubbles and just have fun, And it's, yeah. So I agree.
Joy also has this power to, like someone said, to break, to purify, but and in a way that the joy actually is a breakthrough. Joy breaks through and breaks us through, to where it's just so easy to receive something when you're filled with the joy, and you can't carry a burden when you're filled with the joy. So that expression of joy is like when joy makes us laugh at nothing and at something that wouldn't be funny, because joy is joy. Well, that's all I can say, I suppose. But then what happens too is that in those moments when we just release and give in to the flow of union with joy, then suddenly a clearer perspective happens with us, and suddenly we get something that we might have struggled with to understand it. Suddenly it's like we might have resisted it, but we don't resist it because joy. We're experiencing the power of joy, and joy has so many liberating ways.
And another way, kind of what you were saying, Michelle, it's, I see joy as a gift, obviously. It's a gift. It's not something you have to strive for. And when you're in the joy, it changes your mind. It is persuasive, so to speak. It's a great counselor.
Wow. And then you can also feel, I just was feeling when you were sharing that, I just was feeling the rejuvenation just even within my own body, physically. Anybody else experiencing that?
Yes, I am.
I was experiencing that, and I was also experiencing a soothing quality of joy, even though there's all the laughter and so on. But after a great huge belly laugh, you're like, you just can't help but sigh or take a couple deep breaths, like, oh wow, that was good. Oh, I needed that. There's that soothing quality. And that's how I was experiencing the gold, the liquid gold. Like I used to have these encounters where I was in like a hot tub of gold surrounded by the seven spirits. And that's what's coming back to my remembrance. Like being baptized in gold in joy.
I love that. It's like the gold of joy.
Yeah. And this is just, I don't know how this would speak to the group, but I actually just saw like, just like a clever idea, like a t-shirt that said spelled I-N joy. Like the joy is in versus enjoy. Enjoy.
Yes.
I also saw that gold, liquid gold in our bodies, and then
Mhm.
flowing through us, very, very beautiful. And reminded me of, I don't know why it reminded me of lava, but it didn't look like lava. But I also saw a blue light in our bodies along with the gold.
Mm. I love that t-shirt idea. I want a t-shirt I enjoy. Mm-hmm. Wow.
No problem. No problem.
When we first went in to the City of Joy, um, I was seeing us dancing, and we were like children playing, actually. And but then I saw one person sitting beside the street, just sitting there quietly, and to me it said that joy is a great way to enter into rest, because he was just totally at rest and just feeling a deep joy, but he was entirely at rest.
That's great. That's profound, Sharon. You could say that joy is a powerful transformer.
Right before you said that, Michelle, I was paying attention to my crown and I was seeing what looked like electricity, like little lightning shots like going off between like the different, I don't know what you call it, but the different edges or the different ridges of the crown. It was like a little lightning storm.
Wow.
Kind of like new ideas or a transformed mind, or like heaven igniting mindsets or shifting, like something was happening very powerfully, like a heavenly storm in the mindset, over the mindset, and in the mindset, and with this crown.
Wow.
And I can smell that smell after a good rain is what I'm getting.
Yeah, you could also say that joy clears the air or the atmosphere.
Linda, I saw when you said that, I saw I saw us drenched with rain. It's pouring, and I saw umbrellas and woo, it's pouring.
Joy reigns.
Yes.
I didn't even think about the crown aspect of that too. That's funny.
Oh yeah, I did see that too when Linda was talking about the crown. I saw the like the revelation coming in into our head, and then the crown, but also the crown is our head, not just the crown, but wow. Thank you, Lord.
Joy is also closely connected with victory. Joy provides a vehicle for us to carry us in victory.
And therefore we are victorious riders.
Yes.
I was just thinking when we were seeing the joy and everything and like when I was seeing it more liquid for a while now, I kept thinking it's like oil, but it's like honey. And I was like, it's like this, but it's like liquid gold. And then I just kept coming back to the honey for a second. I was thinking, um, why, honey. And then I was thinking, well, I know some people say it's good for allergens or the immune system. Um, but I was thinking, oh, I just had it. I'll leave it there. I just had it though. Okay, I got it. It's I was thinking of how laughter is like medicine. So I was seeing joy like honey, like medicine. Um yeah.
So good. How do others taste joy?
Like honey. Yeah, and I see it golden, just like honey also.
There's a lot of like floral essence in the honey beyond just what you typically experience, at least for me with honey.
Yeah, I can taste the peppermint taste in joy.
Makes me think of it being sweet and refreshing.
So I am joy. Everlasting joy is on my head. Let's put it this way. We are joy. Everlasting joy is on our head. We are one with joy. We are entangled with joy. Joy is in every cell of our body. Joy bubbles up out of our innermost being. Mm.
You were saying it was in our being in every cell. I was thinking of like light, lots of light. And then I was thinking about how people tend to say they feel better when the sun is out and shining, right? It's like more joyful or invigorating. So there's something to the frequency of joy and light in our being. It's like within us is a sunny day. Every cell in our body is like a sunny, happy day.
Joy is the fruit of the spirit, like Cindy mentioned. So it's the fruit of our spirit. It's a fountain springing up in us. Joy is available moment by moment.
I was thinking about when I was considering the weather, and one moment I'm experiencing a rainstorm, right? And everything's more blue and so on. And then I'm thinking of the sun, and I was just thinking there's just very different sides to joy, and you can't quite put it in a box, really. It's can be just so soothing when you need it, this like inner calming joy that resonates, that preserves and helps one persevere. But then there's like just this crazy, wild, energetic, combustible, you can't contain it joy that is just so different.
I got this. Joy, joy loves to trigger. I think that's funny.
That's awesome.
Yay, a happy trigger.
Since the beginning, when we first started, when we were all singing, I kept singing, Yahweh, 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 to the glory of your name. Yahweh, 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 and singing, and I can't stop saying that. And when, again, just now, I just feel like, well, like I get, God is joy, as he is, so are we. And anyway, I wanted to share that.
Yeah, we're just having fun exploring the reality, right? To identify. Oh. And joy contradicts the man-made seriousness, type of thinking or feeling. Often attached with a sense of responsibility, but not a heavenly responsibility, but an earthly, man-made kind of idea. And what was coming to me that, knowing some, it would behove us not to, why do I say a word like that? That's an ancient word, everybody, sorry. Where'd that come from anyway? Oh, wow. It would be good for us to actually, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, hang on. It would be good for us to not take ourselves so seriously. That's what I mean.
To add to that, right before you were sharing, I was thinking about how the scripture says he laughs at his enemies. And one can take that so many different ways. But back to what you were saying earlier, Michelle, I think those that plot against God's ways or even against us, because we're creating his image, it triggers him into laughter. In other words, it's not like he's laughing at what's coming at them, it's more just not bothered, or it just is contrary to this essence of joy that he is.
What have some of the others like to share that haven't shared yet?
I was just in the very beginning very aware that joy is fruit of the spirit, and as we carry it, people can eat of it. So it's something to give and make other people happy. And then the other thing is, I saw us having where Joy put on a jacket for us. It's a very long jacket that goes all the way to the floor. It's like an official jacket. It's like a I don't know how to put it, but anyway, a very nice jacket. And there's something incredibly profound about, as you know, the joy that was laid before Jesus before he went to be crucified. It's something we need to hold on to. I'm just incredibly aware of that is very important. It's this joy is given to us as a tool, as a strength, as a, you know, all the adjectives you guys used for strength and power and so on. I really do get it in my spirit. I don't have the words for it. So I just want to thank you. I feel I'm very much with you guys.
Thanks for sharing, Lisa. Did you think that maybe that coat had to do with the sense of like the mantling of joy with us?
Yes, that's why I don't have the words for it. I just know it was very fancy, very nice. It's over our robes. It's something that's, it's like an official, it's officially given to us, and it makes us officially something.
I'm more focused on the coat, but when you were saying it's fruit that people can pick from, the word I was getting was it multiplies, like joy multiplies speedily, and that it's contagious. And then when you were talking about the coat and you were sharing all the different meanings we've connected with joy, I was thinking of all those frequencies, but I was also thinking of that electricity that it also protects. So it expands, but it also, it joy overflows out of us, but it also protects us from anything contrary.
I can definitely agree with that. This is a very, it's a very bad example, so don't take it as such, but I'm thinking of martyrdom specifically. So say, for instance, there's martyrdom in my future. If I've got joy, I can walk in there with the biggest smile on my face. In fact, welcome it towards me because I am in joy. There's that type of, you know, joy almost overrides your common sense, if I can put it that way, because you're just joyful. And then lastly, I'm also very, you know, Michelle, you mentioned joy, love, and peace that goes together. I'm very, very aware of the entanglement with love and peace that goes with joy. Joy brings us love and peace, and love brings us, you know, joy and peace brings us joy and love. And it's just this circle that just works together. It's all hand in hand. It's because of the Father's love for us that we can be so incredibly joyful and so bubbly. That's actually the right word, bubbly, like you guys mentioned earlier. You know, somebody that's very joyful, you call them bubbly. They bubble up with joy. And because of his love, because of our relationship with him, we can have joy. And because of that, there's absolutely nothing to fear. We can have so much peace and we can just enter into his rest.
Yes, that's beautiful, Lisa. I love the entanglement, that we are entangled in love, joy, and peace. It's beautiful. And I love what you said too, Arabella, about joy is contagious. What a contradiction to the other thing that apparently was supposed to be contagious, right? So I think that we can legislate a release of the expression, the experience, the encounter, all that we have engaged with regard to joy, that we could put it. Sometimes in the realms of heaven, we've found that we could use a basket, so we can put it in a basket, but we can do whatever we decide to do with it. But we can take what we've engaged and we can turn it over and release it and legislate it where we feel to legislate it. So I like to hear, what you all think, what you all sense.
Well, when you were talking, when you said put it in a basket, immediately I saw us blowing the party things you blow that unfurl.
Yes.
That's what I saw, all of the things that we spoke about in that, as we blew in the, I'll call it a party favor, as it unfurled, out of the end of it came all of those things. So I just thought that was funny. It made me laugh.
So should we blow into that then? A blow into the party favor?
The breath of life. We are Ruach.
What are other sense on this?
I'm good with that. I did see a gold basket earlier, so when you said the basket, I saw that as well. So I think we could do whatever we want, but I like the party favor idea, but I also saw like a basket and I was thinking, well, it's pure gold and there's the fruit of joy, but I saw myself tossing it in the wind with the spirit of God, and it just kind of like a flower girl at a wedding, just like sprinkling it out. So I like them both.
And I saw immediately that lightning rod that we needed to throw out and release over all creation.
Yeah, I think that lightning rod is it's almost like a staff. So it's like a sense of authority. It gives you authority to actually do it. So we can be very happily authorizing or sending out this joy. So we can use all three.
Yeah, I was just thinking with the party favors, it's the breath, it's the word. So we're ruling with our word, we're ruling with our who we are with the authority of the lightning rod, and we're ruling with our fruit in the basket.
Is everyone in agreement then that we'll do that? Where are we going to send this? What are we sensing? Someone mentioned earlier that, I think Zoe mentioned earlier, that there might be a specific place.
I kind of feel like it's everywhere because of all the issues that world has gone through in the last couple years.
Yeah.
With COVID and just the economy, the gas, just a lot of people, they are so burdened and, they're stressed, I kind of feel like it has to go everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yes.
Yeah, me too, because that scripture of the joy of the Lord is our strength. And I think a lot of people need a lot of strength and upliftment. And joy will help with that.
Yeah, I witness with that too. So we can just do these governmental acts, but I just wanted to say, like, we just legislate together that joy is contagious, right? And as we legislate together that joy is contagious, then let's release it however we each, well, actually, we could go and do this all together. So what we could do is we could take the rod, the lightning rod, and then it pierces to break open, right? And then we could take the fruit in the basket and throw it up just like confetti. And then we can breathe. All right, the party favor. Just breathe out the joy through that, and release it just like over in the nations, the peoples.
When you said that, Michelle, I saw it like a dance. You know, stabbing and throwing and blowing, and it's almost like a dance in a circle. And I just think we need to do this in absolute joy and with joy and in joy. And you know, it's a dance, and it's supposed to be fun. So yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, let's hop on our white horses with Jesus, because that's where Cindy saw us, right? We hop on our white horses with Jesus, where we have the lightning rods. So together with Jesus, as we gallop across the nations, right? And as we do so, let's just release the piercing of the joy as lightning rods, right? To start with. And we're just if you're all ready, we'll do that on the count of 3. Just jump on our horses and then release, all right? All right, 1, 2, 3. On our horses with Yeshua, and we release those lightning rods of joy, breaking open, break open, break open. Just break open, piercing the darkness, piercing the clouds of darkness and burden and sorrow and grief and lies and cheating and stealing and thievery, piercing through the deepest darknesses, the joy going into the deepest darknesses of places where there's been so much pain and corruption, piercing the lightning rods of joy. And now let's lift up the basket and just throw the fruits like confetti all over into the houses and the lives of the people all over the place, cities and towns and workplaces, houses, homes, fields, hospitals. And let's just take the party favors and just blow. We release the breath of joy. We release the ruach of joy. We legislate joy over all the peoples, into all situations, over all connections.
I see people rising up, people that had a heavy weights on them. I see them rising up.
Yes.
And then as we release that that breath, there's a sound to it, and that sound made people look up, and they started looking out for, where does that sound, where does that joy come from? and it
Yes.
comes from the Lord. So I see it happening in the spirit.
Good. And we release and legislate that joy is everlasting. It is moment by moment. It is available at all times. Woo!
Ever increasing and never running dry.
Yes. As we were releasing it, I also saw like this gold again. I just saw like glittery gold, you know, when like you see when on top of an ocean when the sun's shining, it's sort of glittery gold all over, like, yeah, like almost like gold dust all over, and then the wind of our breath just blowing it into circles, into like vortexes. Woo. And the lightning rods just piercing through and breaking through. Wow.
When you said the water, Michelle, and the gold reflecting on the water, I, of course, was thinking of might again, and that joy is mighty. What we're doing is mighty.
And with all of this, we are releasing the revelations of the things that we were shown today, and so that they would break open and cause people, others to grasp, others to see, others to hear. We just releasing all that revelation of our connection, relationship with joy, and joy with us as man. Whew.
As we release the lightning rods, I just into the darkness, I saw this really, 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 it was black, pitch black darkness. And I saw the lightning rod go through it, and you could see it because it's so vibrant and white and powerful. And it was just making a hole through all that blackness and going really, really fast and keep going because there was a lot of darkness. Didn't break it like instantly. And I could just see it going, making a tunnel, you know, as it was going. And then I saw like you could see, like it appeared to me like that darkness looked like walls on the side. And then I saw them like they looked like coals, like cracking, and they all fell apart, you know. And in front of that lightning rod, I could see the opening, the vortex, the circle, the light, the beautiful blue sky, you know, and it all just crumbled to open skies.
Beautiful. And we just take everything that we've received today, Father, Yeshua, and Holy Spirit, into our garden of our hearts. I'm so thankful for this wonderful time to meet joy. Amazing how it brings us to a place of peace, like someone mentioned earlier. You feel at peace?
Yes.
Yes.
Do we feel complete?
I do. I'm just also aware of, Jesus laughing
Mhm.
next to us on the horse.
Mhm.
It's like, let us co-create. Let us make beautiful things
Mhm.
as husband and wife. Let us uplift and just, but he's laughing. He's
Mhm.
completely filled with joy.
Mhm. Yeah. Mm. Thank you, everybody.